Mommy! I'm not leaving you. Daddy?
Oh, God.
Daddy?
Buddy.
Judy, open the door!
I'm not your fucking mommy.
What's going on, Spooky Gang? Welcome back to Terror of Tech. I hope y'all having a blessed day. It's a new day, new week, new videos. Y'all already know the vibe, so go ahead and subscribe to the kid. We just crossed 200 subs, so definitely appreciate all of y'all out there. Y'all keep showing your boy some love. We trying to hit that 1K sub, so y'all know I'm gonna keep pushing that content out for the gang. And so with Mother's Day just being a couple weeks ago and Father's Day coming up next month, I thought for today's video, we'll discuss some of the best and worst parent and child dynamics in horror. We're really going to dive in and look at their relationships and all the trials that they must go through to stand tall in the end, and everything that made them beloved or a bad parent. So let's go ahead and get into it. The first parent and child dynamic that I want to mention is Andy and his mom, Mrs. Barkley. Anybody that knows me knows that Child's Play is one of my favorite movies. And a lot of the reason why I love Child's Play outside of Chucky himself is I like Andy's character. I think for a 6-year-old, he was really good in his role. Then his mom, Karen. So the whole plot obviously is Andy for his birthday wants this infamous Good Guys doll. It's just him and his mom. So she's a single mom and she tries to do the best that she can to, provide him the things that he would want and also, the things that he needs. She hears from her best friend that that this homeless guy was selling the doll in the back alley. So being a good parent, she immediately goes outside and then she purchases the doll for her son just to make her son happy, because the gifts that she did get him on his birthday, he was not having it. That man did not want no clothes, did not want that little Good Guys toolbox set without having the actual Good Guy doll, which I respect, so I feel him. It's just the dynamic of the fact that she went out her way to make sure that her son was happy. And then as the movie progressed, we see that Chucky is no normal doll.
Talk to me, damn it, or else I'm gonna throw you in the fire!
You stupid bitch, you filthy slut! Did you fuck with me?
She then, despite Detective Norris and everybody else not believing her that Chucky is actually alive, she goes and does all this research. She goes through different parts of the town, some good, some bad, just anything that she can do to uncover more information about Chucky and how a doll is alive, and all in efforts to protect her son, because she believes her son is going to be in trouble with this doll. And so, as the movie goes to the end, you see she was a dog in protecting her son. They set Chucky on fire. They shot Chucky's head off, shot his arm off, shot his back. So she was a real dog, and she really protected Andy as best as she could. So Ms. Barkley, know that you're a real one. Next, I want to talk about the Insidious franchise, Josh and Dalton. What makes their dynamic dope is because of the whole astral projection angle. Josh, when he was a child, he dealt with astral projection and not necessarily understanding some of the dangers that may come with it. So Josh, when he was a child, he had an entity attached to him from astral projection, because in astral projection, you essentially kind of like your spirit in a way leaves your body, which leaves your body as like an empty vessel. And then there's entities out there that will want to come and possess your body while you're not in it. And as we know at the end of this movie and some of the further sequels, that Josh had his memory wiped away of the entity, the old lady or Parker Crane that was following him. As he grows into adulthood and matures, he no longer remembers anything about astral projection, and he doesn't believe anything related to that, even when it starts affecting his son as well. And so as you move further into the movie, and Josh slowly starts to notice little patterns and things that sort of like reconnecting wires in his brain, like, hey, this seems oddly familiar, this is a little deja vu. And then Elise at the end drops the bomb on him and tells him that he used to do that, and his mom called her to help him when he was a child. From there, once he actually believes everything, and they go through the whole sort of try to hypnotize him or whatever, so he can go back and access his astral projection abilities to save his son. And through him having to save his son, he also has to confront the same entity that bothered him and was haunting him as a child. So that aspect is super dope alone, but still going all through that to go find your son that's in this hidden astral world, and he's able to bring them back, even though Darth Maul is chasing after them. It's such a great dynamic, and even when you look in the last sequel, the Insidious: The Red Door, you know, they do have a little bit of a strained relationship, but you know, eventually once both of them, because both of them were made to forget, but then eventually they both remember again, just so they can fight the good fight one more time. Now, the next parents and child dynamic that I want to mention is from The Shining. And so you have Jack Torrance, Wendy, and Danny. Now, the thing about this one is the good parenting, and it has horrible parenting at the same time. So when you look at their strained family ties, the relationship between Jack, Wendy, and Danny has a bunch of tension and dysfunction, and having to deal with Jack's alcoholism and some of his abusive tendencies have already damaged a lot of their family dynamics even before they even reached the Overlook Hotel. Wendy, as a protective mother, she's deeply concerned for Danny's well-being, and she does very well trying to shield him from Jack, all the different crazy stuff that he was doing, his erratic and violent behavior, even though she's in a state of fear and confusion herself, trying to defend him from her own husband and the father of her child, which is kind of wild. And you just think about like the psychological terror aspect of it, and with Danny's shining ability, well, a lot of times with that ability, it places him right at the center of the events of any supernatural events that are happening in the Overlook Hotel. And while he's experiencing some of those supernatural occurrences, you have Jack's descent into madness. Seeing his transformation over the duration of the film from this struggling writer to this homicidal maniac that's running around the hotel trying to kill his family. Jack definitely a shit parent, not necessarily by his own volition, but any parent that's trying to kill their child, I mean, you ain't no way you about to be labeled a good parent in his book. So Jack, you a trash parent, but Wendy, you held it down for Danny, so you're definitely one of the better parents for sure. And another trash ass parent that I want to mention is Margaret White from Carrie. You talk about a bad mom. Like, yeah, in general, she wanted the best for her daughter for sure, but she was one of those parents that goes about it in all of the wrong ways. You know, there's the whole religious aspect, and with Carrie's telekinetic abilities, and she didn't want her to even acknowledge that she has these abilities. She just wanted to kind of keep those closeted, and you know, just for her to focus so much on God and reading her Bible, reading scriptures, and even to the point where obviously as we see later in the film, locking her away in the closet as, you know, Carrie starts to rebel just a little bit, because, you know, she's also this person who's getting picked on and bullied at school, and her mother isn't doing anything to help that fact. So when Carrie has to do what she has to do and start doing people dirty, including her mom, it just is what it is, in my opinion. So Margaret White, you definitely a trash parent. So you for sure one of the worst. And the last parent and child dynamic that I want to mention is from the movie Mama, and that's, you know, having Annabelle and Lucas, and honestly Mama herself looking after the two kids. In this movie, the parent-child dynamic is a little different. In the very beginning of this movie, little girls, one is probably like 3 and one is probably like 1. But their father went and seemingly killed their mom and took them to this abandoned little cabin in the woods so he could, you know, kill them, and I would believe he was going to commit suicide himself. So he just killed his whole family. What was wrong with him? I don't even really remember, but so then Mama comes into the picture, and she stops him from killing them, and she takes care of them for multiple years until these two hunters find them later, and they're all very feral and everything like that. And so brother of their father, so their uncle, he comes in and essentially kind of in a way adopts the girls and takes care of them, tries to help rehabilitate them to living in a normal society, and like I said, not being so feral and disassociated with society and things like that. And then there's Annabelle, which is their uncle's girlfriend, and she doesn't want anything to do with kids in the beginning. That nothing about kids was on her radar whatsoever. But as soon as these kids come in her life, you get to see that transformation from her into loving these girls, into really starting to deeply care for these girls, especially as we're taken away from Mama. Mama comes back and is starting to haunt them, and Annabelle really steps up in more so the third act of the movie, where Lucas, their uncle, isn't really in the picture anymore. So she really just has to take all of the brunt herself and take care of them and deal with Mama at the same time. So As far as a parent, even though Lucas and Annabelle aren't the parents of those two, but just the fact that they took them in and the way Annabelle defended them in the end, and even at the very, very end when Mama's trying to take away the youngest child and Annabelle was doing everything in her power to not let her go. She was trying to take the younger one with her as well. You could clearly see that the younger one was already kind of like way too far gone and Mama was just sort of everything to her. So Annabelle, you definitely held it down. Lucas, you held it down for as long as you were in the movie. And so y'all definitely will count as some good parents. But that's all I got for y'all, Spooky Gang. Comment down below what y'all think of some of these parent and child dynamics and what are some of your favorite parent and child dynamics. There's definitely more I could have mentioned in this video, so y'all definitely drop some down below. I'm interested to see what y'all say. And like I said earlier in the video, y'all go ahead and subscribe to the kid. 1K subs, so trying to make sure we hit that goal. Like the video, share it with your friends, and I'll catch y'all next time. Stay spooky.